Hello, thank you for joining us. My name is Brent. I'm with Top of the Lake Coffee, and I'm here in northern Colorado. Our coffee business is really seeking to try to level the playing field for coffee producers and their communities in Guatemala specifically. And in San Juan la Laguna is the community where most of our interactions are done with partners in business and individuals as well. And today we'd like to talk with Delfina, who is from San Juan la Laguna. So thanks for joining us. If you're watching us later, it'll be fun to have this conversation. So let's welcome Delfina Parr, who's coming to us from San Juan la Laguna, Guatemala. Hello, Delfina.
Hi, Brent.
Good to see you today. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Oh,
and
good.
Thank you for making all this interview.
Yes, well, let's see how it goes. It's the very first interview for both you and for me. So I'm sure we'll learn a lot of things from this conversation. But hey, just to start out with, Delfina, would you tell us a bit about yourself and your family in San Juan la Laguna, please?
So I am Delfina Parr from San Juan la Laguna, and here is a small town around the lake, Atitlan. If you heard about the lake before, we are in one of the small towns around the lake. So our first language is Tutujil, which is a Mayan language, and then comes the Spanish. I am married. I have one daughter. She's 6 years old. So I am a weaver, and me and my family are involved in the weaving textiles of Guatemala. So working with natural dyes and backstrap weaving.
Ah, wonderful. Well, tell me, how many people live in San Juan la Laguna, roughly? How many are there?
So San Juan has the downtown has about 7,000 persons, and it has 3 small highlands, and in total in the 3 highlands are about 8,000. So in total in San Juan we are about 15,000 persons.
Well, it is one of the most beautiful places, I believe, on earth. But what makes it more beautiful than anything are the people who live there, including you and your family and others that we've met. And like, we're all in such a strange time in the world today. I mean, it's just this unique situation that all of us find ourselves in, and communities around the world are being impacted by things and kind of living in the shadow of this COVID-19 pandemic that has kind of swept the world. In the United States, in the community I live in as well, the governments are slowly beginning to loosen some of the restrictions, and businesses are opening up very slowly and carefully. Most communities, at least where we live, require people to wear masks when they're out in public. But I'm curious, and I imagine others are as well, what are the current restrictions in place because of the COVID-19 in Guatemala generally, and in San Juan la Laguna, if there's a difference there as well?
So in Guatemala, in the whole country, we need to use a mask. We can go out, so we can go in the street without a mask, because you can be fined if you don't have a mask. And also, you need to, if you were walking or if you're going to the market, you need to be like 2 meters far away from each person.
Okay.
And every time you're going to a grocery store or to a market, you need to clean your hands with a antibacterial soap or gel. And also, now the president changed the time where you can go out. So you can go out from 5 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. After that, you need to stay home. So from Monday to Friday. So the weekend is closed. The whole weekend is closed. So you at home the Saturday and Sunday until Monday 5 in the morning.
Oh, wow. So in the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you are not supposed to leave your house at all.
No.
Is that correct?
No.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's very strong guidelines.
Yes, they're really, really strong rules now,
Mhm.
but
Wow.
we are trying to live with this also because it's
Yes.
really
Well.
hard.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So, with those rules or regulations that are there to prevent the virus, like how has that changed everybody's life? Like how does it work now for people with their families and in the community?
So mostly the people that I have relationship around me, so we are focused on the tourism business,
Hmm.
and it affects totally the economy for everybody because I know guides, tour guides, and also weavers, coffee sellers, or chocolate sellers, and it's really hard for everybody because you can't once this starts to affect to us
Hmm.
in March 16th when the country
Hmm.
was closed.
Hmm.
So we need to close the shop and we need to close everything. But everybody can was able to go outside any time that they can. But then comes
Hmm.
those restriction and was really hard because you need to stay at home
Hmm.
and try to see what you can do to make money. But
Right.
it's in San Juan now is really hard because now there are 8 person infected,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
but the mayor of the town put also rules because as you know Guatemala is everybody eats tortillas and everybody needs to
Yeah.
go every
Yeah.
day to grind
Hmm.
the corn, and now
Hmm.
it's really stricted because you can go from 5 in the morning till 8 in the morning if you
Hmm.
want to go.
Wow.
Later than that
Hmm.
you can't go,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
you need to do really you need to go really quick out and stay home the most time that is possible. And
Wow.
also the grocery stores, the only stores that are open in the town are the grocery stores and the market.
Hmm.
And the grocery stores, they need to clean the store every day from
Hmm.
2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So they need to
Wow.
clean in the morning. They can accept persons, but after that, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they need to clean everything. So it's like a half day open the grocery store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what about now? You have your daughter is in school. Like, what is happening for students that go to school in the community?
So some students they have homeworks.
Hmm.
That is the only thing that they can do. For example, like the middle school, so
Hmm.
they have homework, so they call to the mother or a WhatsApp video call. They make the instructions what they need to do, and also the activities that the children they are doing. You need to make a video and then send to the uh,
Hmm.
teachers. Most of
Wow.
them
Yeah.
that is what they do. Yes, but
Hmm.
like the kindergarten school, there's much like a free, so they don't have homeworks, so
Hmm.
they just send some stories that you need to read with the children and some
Hmm.
things that you can do with them.
Wow. Now, so your daughter, is she disappointed that she can't go to school right now, or is she liking being at home with her parents?
At the beginning she was fine because it was like a small vacations, but now it stays
Hmm.
longer and she's getting really boring even if you can do
Sure.
activities with her. So it's a
Hmm.
child and she needs to play and also explore. But now she's thinking when will end and when she gonna
Yeah.
come back to home to school,
Right.
because also she miss the classmate, and it was sometimes she gets really sad because she wants to go.
Hmm.
But also one of the good things of their school, they make a like a video call to all the students, and they can talk each other. So through the phone, but that was something that also helps to her.
Okay.
But she's
Mhm.
really, really disappointed, and also wants she wants that this ends soon as possible.
Oh, yes. Right.
Yes.
Well, so let me kind of recap what I've heard so far. Like the restrictions in Guatemala are you must wear a mask when you're outside your home, wear a mask at all times, right? And all
Hmm.
travel in the country is restricted, right? Like there's not
Yes.
buses or
No,
in
they're
tuk-tuks
not
even in
chicken
San Juan.
buses.
Ah, that's too bad.
None
I
of
love chicken buses.
yes. So the tuk tuk, you can use a tuk tuk, but one person in tuk tuk. You can't
Ah,
go two persons or three-person in tuk tuk like was before. So
okay.
now the tuk tuks you can use, but just one
Mhm.
person, and that's it.
So the community of San Juan, and these are restrictions probably everywhere, but in San Juan, you can be only outside your home between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. on weekdays, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, you have to stay in your home the entire
Yeah.
time. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
and for a village that it relies primarily on tourism. I mean, there are other, like, people grow coffee and there's crops, but primarily the main income for people in San Juan is tourism, right? And that is completely
Yes.
gone. And so it's possible to buy groceries, but I would imagine with no income, it makes it difficult. Is that correct? With no money available?
Yes. Yes. It's correct.
So, so how have people responded to those restrictions? I mean, as families, are they taking care of each other? Like, how do people, relate to each other when there's not much money? There's people perhaps getting hungry. They're afraid about getting the virus. How do people working there, or how they?
So at the beginning, because we think that the virus can reach us because we are in this
Oh,
town
yeah.
and far away from the city, because mostly of
Mhm.
the cases are all the people that had the COVID-19 was in the city.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yes.
even with all these restrictions, you can travel and you can get the virus from there to here.
Hmm.
But that is what the people say is like really quiet, and they don't be afraid about to get the virus, and they say that never gonna reach us. But now
Yeah.
it's a shock for everybody, because now it's here, it's in the town, and we even for me it's really impressive because I didn't know how soon it came.
Hmm.
And now the people they get afraid and try to stay more at home, because at the beginning
Hmm.
they just walk, and even if the restrictions, they want to go out and walk a little bit. But most of the people now they are afraid, because even hearing about how the virus stays in this in some place, if you step
Hmm.
on it or touch it, so now you can get it. But um now the people try to follow all these restrictions, but it's really
Hmm.
hard because, for example, the people that works with land, they need to go
Hmm.
up, and using a
Yes.
mask is really hard to breathe.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
yes.
and also if you have something that you're carrying on, um, it will be heavy, and wearing a mask is really, really hard, because the breathing is much small.
Mm.
Yes, but they everybody that I met, I know, so everybody wears the mask, and everybody try to follow the all these rules and restrictions.
Ah, right. Yeah. So with not much income, with money that's scarce, and people really working to work with each other and take care of each other, what gives people hope now? Like, what keeps people going in your view?
What is their hub use, you mean?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
So some of us, we think that after this will come more people that wants to help to them.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly like we are directly working with the tourists,
Mm-hmm.
and so the people that some people they will come with no ideas and they want to help, like the people that us we don't have like an incomes, because like
Right.
all the visitors that they came, that was the straight income for us, and now we don't have
Yes.
visitors and we can sell. So we have, you can make some orders but it's not the same profit that you're
Mm,
selling straight from here. So
mm,
one of
yes.
the hubs that they have is maybe from the government will be some um, projects that help people to reactivate all this economy, and
Mm,
also
mm-hmm.
persons like single person from other countries, they can help with this. So, and that is what we hope. That is
Okay.
like the hope that we have. Yes.
Good. Well, all of us that know you, that have met you, or have been to San Juan la Laguna, um, know how wonderful a person you are and how terrific the town is. And the sounds like the situation is very, very challenging, and with kids at home, and no one, there's no work or income. But and that's a tragic, difficult thing around the world. Here as well, businesses are shutting down, and it's just very challenging to just sit this out, right? Um, but let's drill down a little bit deeper, because you're involved in this a very important cooperative with women. So would you please tell us about Casa Flor Ixcaco, like who's involved and what you do, and just give us a glimpse into what under normal circumstances you'd be doing.
So we are a group of 20 families, but in total we are about 35, 36 women. So the
Hmm.
ages are from 14 years old, and the
Hmm.
oldest is 89. So as you know
Wow.
her.
Yes.
So we work with handspun cotton, natural dyes, and backstrap weaving. So we are trying to do everything by hand, trying to keep alive all this culture and show to the world what we are, so in what we make.
Hmm.
We have our main shop in the town, and here in the shop, normally we sell straight to the final customer, and the profits is 80% for the weaver and 20% for the cooperative to maintain it. And one of the good thing was that once you bring your product, you get your money right away. So you're not waiting until it's sold. So for
Hmm.
example, if I bring some blankets, the cooperative pays me immediately that day instead of waiting
Hmm.
until it's sold. But also it's really important to know what product sells better. So we need to follow also rules, what color sells better, which pattern, and which design sells better. So in that way it can be sustainable. But
Hmm.
as you know, now with this pandemic is really hard, because even if everybody weaves, we don't have the money to pay all those textiles.
Right. They must be
But
sold, right? You can
yes,
make them. Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
So we have, now we fold everything, put in boxes, and save all of them because we want to keep them also in a good quality. But we also want to oh, find a way to sell it.
Sure.
So we that is what we do. We
Hmm.
are all this knowledge is passed down through generations. So you learn from your family, sometimes from your neighbor, but all the weavers from this town, so from this group, we are relative and some we are not,
Hmm.
and all these project is open for everybody that wants to join, but
Hmm.
also needs to be focused and keep alive all these technique and also to support each other. So we are
Ah.
not trying to reach the benefits for one person. We try to
Hmm.
get a profits or better quality of life for um, all the weavers that are involved in this group.
Right. And do you have an estimate of how many, if you count the number of people in families, like how many people are impacted by directly by Casa Flor Ixcaco
So
in
there are
town?
about more than 120 persons.
Wow. Wow,
Yes,
that's amazing.
yes,
Wow. Because as you can see, Delfina has, you can see behind Delfina, some of the beautiful colors, they're all natural dyes, and taking the cotton, producing thread, dyeing it with natural fibers, natural flowers and other substances, and then weaving it into incredible patterns. You can see behind me is one of the bedspreads, I guess I would call it, that we bought at Casa Flor Ixcaco that has a lot of Mayan symbolism in it. And every time we see it, which is every day, it just makes us think of the wonderful people that we know there. And so there's a heart tie that kind of comes through the products that Casa Flor makes. And Top of the Lake Coffee has, like, one of our main purposes is to create opportunities for individuals and cooperatives in other communities to sell their products. Like that, we just want to open a door, and the products that Casa Flor Ixcaco creates are just so delightfully beautiful and colorful that we've just seen wonderful results when their products are put in front of people. So I guess I would say today that what I can tell, like, the best thing we can do to respond is, first of all, get better educated about what is happening in Guatemala, for sure. But also, there are possible places that you can purchase Casa Flor Ixcaco goods, right? So I'm going to put a website on here to show you two places. There's a Global Justice is a Northern Colorado organization that has nationwide reach and does a lot of work for justice in many different ways. But they've established something called the Global Market, where Casa Flor Ixcaco goods are sold, and they have an online store where you can go and look for their products that will be shipped to you from the U.S. And there's another website that it really is Casa Flor Ixcaco's product website that is woven-gt.com. I'll kind of scroll this across the bottom as well. Though that's another place where you can purchase directly from San Juan la Laguna. DHL will ship the product to your place of where you live or business, whatever you'd like to do. So there are two ways you can really provide some economic boost to the fine people of Casa Flor Ixcaco. And I know you have many products now that are ready and are being stored carefully. And so at this point, like, do you have an idea of how you will come out the other side after things go back together and you're able to do business more directly and people begin to come back to San Juan la Laguna? Do you see that as a hopeful thing for you, for Casa Flor Ixcaco in the future? Like, when do you think that might begin to happen? I know that's just a speculation, that's hard to do, but any ideas or
Yeah, I
thoughts?
know. We think that maybe in the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a maybe, because also, even if Guatemala is healthy without the COVID, so we need to wait for the other countries that need to be healthy also.
Right.
But one of the things, if Guatemala stays safe, So you can travel in Guatemala, and you even tourists from Guatemala will be good too. And but that is one of the things that also we need to have in mind. That is not just only Guatemala; is the whole world.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we have visitors from the whole world, and
Hmm.
it's amazing to know people from different parts of the world. But in this case, it's really hard also to reactive all these things. But one of the good things also, having this time like resting or staying at home, think about how you can sell online,
Oh,
because
yes.
you can have more information, you can have more skills in the technology like now. So
Yes.
but before we didn't expect how to do this.
Hmm.
And but now is one of the good things also, that you need to, not only the bad things you need to take, you need to also have the good things, like learning each time what you
Hmm.
can do. And you also using the technology is good. And so that is what we think in the end of this year,
Yes. Hmm.
or maybe next year, but
Yes.
we hope this ends soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and yeah, and there really isn't a way to know exactly when things are going
Yes.
to, lighten up. But we have had you or Miriam from Casa Flor Ixcaco visit Northern Colorado for pop-up sales in the past. And when it is safe to travel again, so that there's no risk to you or to us, we invite you to come back again for a week-long tour of Northern Colorado to sell your products, because we know that that is helpful not only to you, but it's helpful to the people here to see
Yes.
the beauty of your culture and the beauty of your goods. So, we will plan to do that and get the
Thank
word
you.
out as soon as we know when that's possible. So, um, at Top of the Lake Coffee, we want to be supportive of the community of San Juan la Laguna, and coffee is our passion. And we know many coffee growers in the community and have sold some roasted coffee directly from the farmers recently. That was really fun. We buy coffee from farmers in the community and sell coffee. But what is fun for me about that is that we are always seeking to see how we can give either financial or intellectual support to people in the community. And we always give a portion of the profit to what we call our Greater Good Fund. And some of the things that we're planning to do with the money, and we're starting this project now, is a really large egg laying project in San Juan la Laguna, 100 hens that should create 6 jobs and make it possible for individuals to get a trickle of income, as well as eggs, which are really critical, that are, have kind of slowly disappeared from the community. We're working with one young person to establish an organic garden, and just how to get that established, to grow vegetables that eventually will be sold to restaurants and things like that. So there's many things that we're trying to do, but we would invite you to consider buying coffee from us. We're at topofthelake.coffee.com. And for the next 2 weeks, if you use the code HELPOUT, all caps, you'll get free shipping. But even more importantly, for every order, we'll donate a meal from a restaurant in town. It's called Alma de Colores. It's a restaurant that is run by an organization called Centro Maya, which works with people with disabilities. And it's a delightful organization. And they're graduates of the disability program. Some of them run the Alma de Colores restaurant. So what we're doing is, taking money that's been used to buy coffee, we'll give it to the restaurant, which gives them a stream of income, and then they're able to donate the meal to someone in need in the community. So it's a really great way to give back in a practical way. You'll get some great coffee, which is always very important, but you'll also support the community. And just as an aside, the person that we've connected with at Centro Maya, her name is Viviana, and next week at the same time, 10 o'clock, we'll be having a conversation with her to talk about what Centro Maya does. However, let's get back to Casa Flor Ixcaco and just remind people that You can get incredible woven textiles at globaljusticeonline.org/global market. You see there on the screen, and at woven-gt.com. And the people that create this will be eternally grateful for the purchase that you make. And you'll have a wonderful knowledge that your purchase makes a difference, has an impact, and you get this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful product that's created by a person whose hands have been trained over the years to carry on the Mayan tradition of backstrap weaving. So it's a great way to connect with people in other cultures and to support others in another part of the world that that could also use a hand up. So we're grateful for the chance to promote what you do, Delfina. And I can't wait till we're able to have you here, or I get to return there, whichever happens first. But anything you have to say here as we kind of close out our broadcast, Delfina?
No, just I'm saying thank you, and thank you also to you, Brent, that with the coffee also you're open new doors. Selling coffee, you're helping in different ways the community of San Juan and different communities in the town, in the country, because I know you have coffee from different places in Guatemala, and that is one of the good things that we also appreciate, because this is not just only about one person, it's about different persons, because if you help one farmer, you're helping the whole family.
Yes.
And that is one of the good things that we really appreciate, and we are really also happy to have a friend like you, helping the persons, helping the communities. And thank you so much, and thank you so much for everybody watching this video, and we hope to hear about you soon.
Yes. Well, Delfina, as always, it is so fun to talk with you and to just hear about your family and your world. And we're looking forward to many conversations in the future. And for those of you who are watching, next Saturday, same time, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, we'll have a conversation with Viviana from the Central Maya organization and hear more about her in connection to the community as well. So thanks for Delfina and me, for Casa Flor Ixcaco and their members. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.